was known as Asia's World City, Hong Kong was called Toy Town, and today ranks second only to the Chinese mainland among global toy exporters. With re-exports from the mainland, the local industry handles nearly $10 billion worth of toys and games each year. King & Country is among thousands of Hong Kong companies in the game, finding its path to success by targeting the growing market for collectibles.
What did he buy
Yesterday
already?
he bought the tower.
Two things get said when people come into our shop in Hong Kong, in Pacific Place in Hong Kong. The first thing is, do you actually make money out of this? Which I'm happy to say we do. And the second question is, who buys this stuff? Well, it's across the board. Obviously, it's not a cheap hobby. It's relatively expensive. But our kind of collectors tend to be professional people.
Some 25 years after Nielsen and his partner Laura McAllister founded the business, King & Country is among the world's largest and most established designers and producers of these all-metal, hand-painted figures.
Yeah, well, they're toys for big boys, but that's fine. Even big boys need toys. No, they're not. We do call them collector models, and that's probably a better description. But I'm still old enough to remember when these were called toy soldiers, and I still kind of like that description. Some people call them military miniatures, and they are that too. We've covered everything from ancient Egypt up through the life of Jesus, into the Crusades, into the wars of the American independence, Napoleonic Wars, First World War, Second World War. We've even done figures for the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. In fact, we were the first people to capture bin Laden. We captured him alive, albeit in 1/30 scale miniature. But we actually did a little figure of bin Laden being captured by US Navy SEALs long before the guys ever did it for real.
Villains as well as heroes are among the top sellers, as collectors are drawn to the company's realistic depictions of moments in history. Buyers with deep pockets even invest in huge cinematic dioramas, also built in Hong Kong by Andy's brother Gordon. For Andy, a graphic designer by training, inspiration is driven by a lifetime of experience.
I loved history at school, and I was always interested in the military. I'd been in the Royal Marines for 5 years back in the UK. When I came to Hong Kong after leaving the police, I joined the Royal Hong Kong Regiment. And this was a way to really bring together all of the things that interested me into one package. And that became Toy Soldiers.
King & Country discovered that while gentlemen were happy to admire the craftsmanship and just the weight and feel of these pieces, women among their customers were frankly a little bit bored. So they came up with the Streets of Old Hong Kong series, and as it turned out, it was far more popular than expected.
And I thought, we need a civilian side of things, something that might appeal to women. We come up with something called Streets of Old Hong Kong, which was really a look back at Hong Kong in 1897. You could say the high point of empire, but it was almost a time where traditional Chinese dress and costume was still being worn. And you could see that in all of the old photographs. And there was lots of books that are still available now showing old Hong Kong. So we thought, yeah, let's do that. Let's do something that might appeal to a female audience. And actually, originally we thought it would mostly be for tourists. Didn't realize that many Hong Kong people would recognize it as part of their heritage, Chinese heritage, and they bought into it as well, literally bought into it.
The expansion beyond military figures is only part of the reason why King & Country has become the largest company of its kind in the world. Being in Hong Kong is a major factor, turning these small figures into big business.
Well, I think very shortly after I arrived in Hong Kong, I realized what a unique place it was. The fact of the matter is that there's still more opportunity per square foot in Hong Kong than I think almost any other place in the world. And it's a great place for networking, that you meet people.
The Scottish entrepreneur says that while he made his start before the end of British rule in Hong Kong, aspiring business people in the United Kingdom would do well to consider opportunities in a post-colonial toy town, still very much on top of its game.
Well, again, it's not only the gateway to China, it's a fantastic centre point for the whole of Asia. And there are so many, again, I keep using this word opportunity, but that's what comes into thinking with Hong Kong. It's still got that element of opportunities will come your way if you're willing to go out and seek them, and if you're looking for them and you're willing to grab them with both hands. I have the best job in the world. I mean, although this is a business, and I'm happy to say it's a successful business, this is my passion. And any business or whatever you do, if you can be passionate about it, then it doesn't become work. I look forward to coming into this office. How often can you say that in a business?